Pratik Kambre, and today we are at the Asia Pacific Precious Metals Conference here in Singapore. I have Mr. Trevor Raymond from the World Platinum Investment Council here. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, very well, thank you.
So, sir, can you just brief us about WPIC and what is that the company does?
Yes, certainly. Thanks, Prakash. I think the World Platinum Investment Council, our role is to develop the global market for platinum investment. And we kind of do that in two ways. Firstly, we help investors make more informed investment decisions. And then we do that by providing data, research, analysis, and insights. And then secondly, if somebody wants to own platinum, we certainly don't want that to be difficult. So we work with many partners around the world to increase the number of platinum investment products available and make those as cost effective as possible. We're product and partner neutral, so we don't mind whether you own a bar, a coin, an ETF, or a future, and we don't mind whether you buy it from the Royal Mint or from silver bullion. But what we need to do is to know that you've got enough information to make an informed investment decision regarding platinum, and our role is to help both the investor and the partner.
So, coming to the precious metal called platinum, can you just brief us about that and why is platinum going to be important in the future? And what has been going on in the platinum industry in the past maybe 5 years?
The first thing is that many people don't know that they can invest in platinum. So we need to tell them a little bit about platinum. And we know that platinum is just as precious as gold. The only reason that gold has been around for 3,000 or 4,000 years and platinum hasn't is the melting point. Gold melts at a much lower melting point, and platinum, they just couldn't melt it. So platinum's only been around for just over 100 years, and that's why there's a lot less of it. And the thing with platinum is it's just as precious. It's actually more dense than gold. It's 30 times more rare than gold. But what it does do is it does some incredible things in industrial applications. So platinum, for example, in the medical industry, platinum products have been used to treat cancer for decades. Anything that goes into your body during surgery that needs to be visible, anything that stays behind in your body is probably platinum, like a heart pacemaker or a heart pacemaker lead. The production of fertilizer requires nitric acid, and platinum gauze is used to produce nitric acid to make fertilizer. So global demand for food goes up, and the global demand for platinum goes up. So platinum has a lot of interesting attributes, and at the moment, platinum is in short supply. Demand is growing, and it's hugely undervalued. So it's quite an appealing investment. And one very important aspect is that platinum is really key in terms of global decarbonization. Platinum is used in electrolyzers to make green hydrogen from solar or wind power. And if you put that green hydrogen into a fuel cell vehicle, not only are the emissions zero, but you've also removed fossil fuels from the transportation chain. And that really is the breakthrough. And we're finding a lot of young investors are quite keen to invest in this metal. Firstly, because they know that it's doing something good for the world. But secondly, platinum will be worth a lot more in 20 years' time. So people saving for their retirement, that makes a lot of sense.
Coming to hydrogen being a part of the platinum industry, like I've read many reports about hydrogen being a key element in the platinum industry. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that as well?
Yes, as I said, what platinum is used for is firstly in an electrolyzer. So if you take wind or solar electricity and you use an electrolyzer that contains platinum, you can produce hydrogen that is then termed green hydrogen. Now that green hydrogen, if you put that through a fuel cell vehicle, and a fuel cell is actually an item that sits in a vehicle that takes oxygen from the atmosphere, hydrogen from the fuel tank, and makes electricity to drive an electric vehicle. So a fuel cell vehicle is almost identical to a battery electric vehicle, but instead of a heavy battery, you've got a hydrogen tank and a fuel cell. Now that fuel cell contains platinum. So platinum is used in manufacturing the hydrogen and in the vehicle to drive it, and that's where fossil fuels are removed. The nice thing about green hydrogen is that you don't have to wait for fuel cell vehicles for a market, because there's already 90 million tons of hydrogen being used in the world today, and that is typically coming from fossil fuels. It's stripped off of fossil fuels. So anybody using platinum in an electrolyzer to make green hydrogen, there's an instant market for it to replace grey hydrogen and to help a corporate reduce their carbon emissions. So the electrolyzer growth will be short and medium term. Fuel cell passenger vehicles will be longer term, but fuel cell trucks is definitely demand growth for platinum in the short term, because to make a battery truck is a little harder. Fuel cell truck, absolutely easy.
Can you just tell us the future prospects of platinum in the industrial segment, and would it be used more? Can it be used more? Should people be using platinum instead of maybe a silver or anything like that?
The four demand segments for platinum are automotive, which is in the catalysis to keep the engine emissions acceptable. Secondly, in jewelry, it's still the premier jewelry metal.
Yeah.
And thirdly, industrial, and the fourth segment is obviously investment demand that we are trying to grow at the moment. In terms of industrial, platinum's application in industrial applications, that compound growth over the last 10 or 15 years has been double global economic growth. And the reason is if you put platinum into a chemical process where you're making something, it allows you to put in less energy and you get higher yield. So anybody with a process that adds platinum to that process can typically reduce their carbon emissions.
Yeah.
And that's quite appealing to many, many corporates. So that's why the use of platinum in hundreds of different applications has continued to grow and will continue to grow.
Yeah.
And then in terms of investment demand, that's our day job, to grow that number.
Coming to the Asian region, what is WPIC doing? Like, does it have any strategies, initiatives specifically for the Asian market?
Yeah, so World Platinum Investment Council, we opened our office in Shanghai in 2017. And that was initially to grow the investment demand for platinum market in China. And we've done that very successfully indeed. We now have globally 33 partners that are producing platinum investment products and marketing them. And in fact, last year in China, we sold 165,000 ounces of platinum investment bars made by our partners. In terms of our expansion, we've gone into Japan quite aggressively, and certainly into the ASEAN region. And Singapore is really important for that. So we have a partner in Singapore, Silver Bullion, and we're quite keen to see demand grow here. And obviously, Singapore provides access for Indonesian and Malaysian investors who also want to get exposure to gold as a precious metal, platinum as a precious metal, but also platinum as a sort of a proxy for the hydrogen industry. So it's got quite a bit of appeal to quite a lot of investors.
Thank you so much for that. And can you just tell me the value proposition that WPIC gains from the ASEAN region or the APPMC 2024?
Certainly. So we're a small organization, and we punch above our weight. And obviously using in Japan, the Japan Bullion Market Association helps to increase awareness and also make sure people know that we exist and can get access to information. And then the SBMA, we are proud members of the SBMA. And obviously we're using that. Albert Chang is a great supporter and a long-term colleague. So we really see the importance of Singapore being the access to, obviously, an event like this. We came 2 years ago when I think there was 100 people. This year there's 530.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good news, and we're really pleased to be here, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Is it difficult to incorporate platinum in the industrial side of it, or is it very easily incorporated, and whether it should be incorporated in the future times to come?
So platinum is a fantastic metal. In fact, the ore body that's mined in South Africa, where 70% of this comes from, contains platinum, palladium, rhodium, iridium, ruthenium. And all of those metals are used in very many different industrial applications. And they're not difficult to include. They're actually fantastic to include. So they do some remarkable things. So the industrial users, by including platinum, just get better outcomes. You can get more high octane fuel out of a barrel of oil by using platinum. So that's really appealing. So I think the ongoing use of these metals, and then new applications are being developed. So by including palladium, for example, with a bag of fruit, it's an ethylene scavenger, and fruit lasts longer. So these metals have got a lot of catalytic properties that are incredibly helpful. So they're going to be there for a long time. And I think investors, again, at the moment, the price of gold is extremely high. People that are taking profit in gold, they own gold because they don't want to own anything else. So taking that and putting it into another hard asset like a precious metal, which is trading at half the price of gold, is extremely appealing to a lot of gold investors.
Coming to this investment side, do you think platinum should be with gold, or should be at par in the investment portfolio? Like how would you regard this?
So the gold provides a lot of things. It's the least correlated asset. A lot of people use it as a diversifier, and also it's extremely liquid. So you can get very large funds holding gold for those two reasons. Platinum is a much smaller market. It's typically 20 or 30 times less than gold each year. So to include a large amount of platinum in a large portfolio, liquidity is a bit of an issue. However, for the retail investor, for even small pension funds up to $5 billion, holding a few percent of platinum is a good diversifier, absolutely a good idea. But more interestingly, niche investors looking to get exposure to the hydrogen industry, that's something that's also quite appealing.
Can you just tell me about the reports that WPIC provides to the market?
Sure. So we have a detailed report on the supply and demand of platinum that goes out 1 year, provided independently by Metals Focus. And then we have a 2 to 5 year view of the supply demand balance. All our research is available at no charge. So it's free, it's on our website. If anything that you find on our website is useful, particularly to our partners or any investors, you can use that. You can contact us. We do a quarterly report that covers the supply demand. We also do shorter reports, Platinum Perspectives, Platinum Essentials. So please have a look at our website, platinuminvestment.com, for more information.
Thank you so much.